Hi, I'm Trent Cotton. Welcome to my speakEZ. So as the Vice President of Talent and Culture at hireEZ AI, I get the fun part of HR. So everything from talent development, talent acquisition, performance coaching, and really kind of helping with the overall strategy for how are we going to continue to grow with the best talent in the market. So hireEZ is our secret weapon. We use it to develop talent insights to help us create our recruiting strategy and also advise our clients. We also use it to nurture, to identify, and most importantly, execute on a flawless talent program. So if you're interested, join me in my office. Let's check it out. I am huge about data. I mean, if you've listened to me, if you read anything that I put out there, I love William Deming's quote, "In God we trust and everyone else must bring data." So I apply that to recruiting as well. So whenever I'm sitting down with one of the team members and they're talking about a struggle or an obstacle, I go into here because I want to look at what's the funnel look like. You know, a lot of times recruiters say we can't find anyone and they're looking for this very small skill set. They've limited themselves too much. And as a former salesperson, you always look at the top of the funnel, because if you have to go through 1,000 candidates to hire 10, then you should probably have 2,000 candidates sitting at the top of that funnel. It's just basic math. So I love that they actually go through the recruiting funnel. You know, how many are not reviewed? You know, selecting them as a good fit is fantastic. If you don't do anything with it, it's worthless. And again, recruiters are so busy. We're constantly chasing that next shiny light. Sometimes we need to just really ground ourselves and create a success routine. And this allows me as a leader to be able to coach my team to develop that success routine. All right, so I love working and looking at like converted, qualified. Is it 99%? That's really good. The emails and the click-throughs. This is huge. I don't know about you, but I hate getting an email or an in-mail or something that asks me for something that's completely irrelevant. Like, I get people all the time going, "Would you be interested in this commercial lending position? Would you be interested in this work?" I haven't been in lending for like 20 years. Like, why in the hell would I really fine-tune your approach? This allows us from a marketing standpoint to say, okay, which emails resonate the most, all right? We've done a couple of different A/B testing. We found out that people will normally click within the emails that link to a video versus linking to a PDF about our culture. So when we're creating new nurture campaigns or new outreach campaigns, we're going to leverage video a lot more than we do some downloads. We also can do some A/B testing on, here's a very long email that's got some GIFs and some pictures and all this versus one that's very short, sweet, and to the point and ends with a video. And we can see what's the response rate, what's the click rate. I can also look at, by team members. So if I'm looking at one particular recruiter and their open rate is twice what everybody else is, I'm going to get them to lead a webinar, lead a best practices routine or sharing with the rest of the team. And for leaders, this is important because I find a lot of times that recruiters will listen to their peers for best practices more than they listen to their leaders. And this is also a great way for you to identify those who are doing great things and elevate them and allow them an opportunity to coach their peers. So definitely start with the overview. I mentioned the campaigns. We can look at the email adoption, number of reply, the click-through rate at 42. And this is just for the last 7 days. And it's been a quiet week, thankfully. So we can see that we delivered 502, 61 replied. We had a click-through rate of 42, so that's right at 10%, which is not bad. We can also look at it by date. We can look at it by what is the campaign name. So this is where you can start looking and see which campaigns are the most successful, and you can back into it and go, okay, well, why are these more successful? What's different from this one versus another one? That's called A/B testing. All right, I also like to look at projects. So for what we do, I am not a reactive recruiting organization. I hate it. I spent the first part of my career doing that. I will never, ever go back. So what we do as an organization is we try to identify what are the most common competencies, skill sets, job titles, whatever, that we need to be able to have in our back pocket and ready to go. Then what we do is we create talent pipelines, and we use the CRM aspect of this amazing tool to be able to kind of track the life cycle of that candidate. So what I can do is I can actually get in and see for different pools, where are we sitting? And again, it's been a quiet week and we've been moving people back and forth, but I can look at how many candidates are moving throughout the process and where are we losing them? You know, if we see one week that we've got, 78 that are good fit, and then the next week we have, of that 78, 40 of them are recruiter screening, and then we get another 30 that go to the hiring manager, and then all of a sudden 2 are with the hiring manager, I'm immediately going to go, what's going on? So I'm going to get with the hiring manager and say, where are we off? Then I'm going to get with the recruiter and say, let's fine tune our search. Or, which is more commonly the cause, usually I have to sit down with the recruiter, with the hiring manager and say, didn't we agree to these 5 things? So why are you grading these candidates by 10? Do we need to go back and redo the search? So again, that's why starting with that insights and PDF and sending it to them, it's a great way to kind of call it back to their memory and say, okay, this is how you define success. What's changed? And then of course, diversity. I love looking at how many have we qualified, contacted. This is taking DEI and really putting some really strong analytics on the top of the funnel. Not how many did you hire, how many did you retain, but how many are you actually reaching out to? Because if you can nail that, the rest of it's going to just fix itself. All right, so if you don't spend time in the performance reports, you're truly missing out. And even as a recruiter, I would get in and I'd be looking at which one of my emails do better. What does my candidate flow look like? Take a moment. Every Friday afternoon is a perfect time to do that. That way you can go into next week with success strategies rather than just repeating the same insanity that you did this week that apparently didn't work. All right, so for large organizations, and like very large organizations, the insights is something that's pretty incredible. I'm spoiled by hireEZ, so a lot of times I get to beta test things, and I got to beta test this a year or 2 ago, and it is mind-blowing, the analytics that it was able to give me. So if you're looking and trying to understand, okay, where are our people going, from a retention standpoint? We've turned over 40% within the retail division. Where did they go? hireEZ can tell you. They can also tell you where are most of your people coming from. Why is that important? Well, if I know that I can recruit from IBM all day long and twice on Sunday, I'm going to double down on IBM. Okay, they're going to be, I want a cease and desist from IBM. That's how big we're going to double down into them. It also gives you some really interesting comparison or benchmarks against the industry. Throughout my career, it's always been, well, our turnover, is it high compared to the industry? And there's some industry reports out there, but usually they're about 18 months or 6 months at best behind. This is leveraging how often people are moving and updating their stuff in LinkedIn. hireEZ is right there to capture it. So this is as close to real time as you can possibly get, which means that if you're consulting your client, you can go on the offense with them. And it's powerful, powerful data. And competitive talent analysis, so I can look at, all right, this is when we start losing full stack developers between the years 4 and 6, is that common in the industry? And if it isn't, then I need to drill down and see what's going on. But if it is, if I can fix that, then my retention rate is going to be higher than my competitors, which means that I'm going to have a competitive edge over them. And then of course, the diversity and inclusion, you just got to check it out. I can't even get into that. It just makes me really, really excited. And then some strategic decision-making. You can generate the report, you can download the report. And I think there was a way also too that you could automate it, which is fantastic. It's one less report that you have to send out. But if you're not using Insights, definitely check it out. We're not using it because we're kind of small. So we're a bootstrap company. We have to be very, very careful about where we spend our money. But whenever I was with very large organizations, running large talent organizations, this was a must-have. This was a non-negotiable for me. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little tour of hireEZ and the speakEZ. I don't know about you, but most of the time whenever I hear speakEZ, it involves a drink. So after all of this today, that's exactly where I'm going. If you want to catch up with me, not at the speakEZ, you can catch me on TrentCotton.com. Of course, you can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter. I am always open to help anyone in the profession make their talent strategy better.